It is showtime. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Kenny Gould, founder of Hop Culture, creative director of Untapped, and host of Untapped's Virtual Happy Hour, the YouTube show where we interview interesting people over beer. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. You can follow me on Instagram at HopCultureKen. You can stay in touch because I like talking to people. And if you haven't yet, check out Untapped's Brewery Madness competition, which you can find by Googling Brewery Madness. We are down to our final 4 teams out of 64, and your check-ins between now and April 3rd count toward a brewery's score. On the 3rd, we'll take the 2 teams with the most check-ins, move them to the finals. They will play on April 5th, and the winning brewery will take home an Untapped promo package worth up to $5,000.
Ooh, nice.
We got We got Treehouse playing Other Half, and we have Stone against New Belgium. It's going to be a heck of a Final Four. Eric.
Yo, what's good? Untapped YouTube Live. It's Eric Jackson, founder and owner of Uncap Everything. You can follow me on @Uncap Everything. Also run the We Are Cap Soul on Instagram as well. And I'm the intern for beer culture and hop culture. I'm in the final last 4 weeks of the internship, and Ken, it's been great so far. Yeah, I'm super excited about what we're gonna drop on them. We're gonna drop it hard on their heads too. So
you owe me an email.
Yeah, we're gonna do it as soon as we get off of here.
All right. That's fair. Do we have any announcements today, Eric?
Absolutely. Last time we talked about the Hop Culture's Juicy Brews 420 Digital Craft Beer Festival. Yes. And today we're in the last days of you signing up and getting your ticket. So we need you all to do that. We have 10 amazing beers shipped directly to you, to your house, and all content will be covered. So even if you're not able to make it to the live events, you can follow along and purchase your tickets at hopculture.com / you know the numbers 420.
That's it. And
it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
We're donating a good portion of proceeds from that event to the Last Prisoner Project, which is fighting for prison reform, which is awesome. Cool. Great. And do we have a question of the day today?
Yeah, man. Who's winning NCAA? I feel like everybody wants to know. I feel like everybody has a specific team that they want to know. But we say we've got Houston, we got Baylor, UCLA. You always got to put UCLA at the top. I mean, they've been at the top for a long time. Or Gonzaga. Right? Yeah, so go ahead and comment on the video. Let us know what you think, who you think is going to win the NCAA. And, of course, let us know what you're drinking.
That's right.
Yeah, right now I'm drinking 3 Floors. It's it's American Wheat Pale Ale.
And I, of course, am drinking.
Got it in my Malarkey glass.
Southern Tier New Haze, a new beer from
Southern Tier, nice.
From an old classic.
That's awesome. I haven't had Southern Tier in a long time. I love their chocolate orange stout. I think it's what it is.
Yeah.
That one's good.
They have a tap room in Pittsburgh, which is for me. Can't wait to get back out of the house.
Beautiful.
We, speaking of treats, have a very special treat today. I want to introduce our guest. He is kind of like me in that he made a career out of an interest, but instead of covering beer, he covers golf. He and his friends started recording themselves playing some of the world's greatest courses, and now they run No Laying Up, which is one of the most popular independent channels covering golf on YouTube and Instagram. With the Masters fast approaching, we thought it was the perfect time to bring him on the show. So, without further ado, Columbia grad, Icarito, the merch czar, the man himself, Neil Schuster.
Feel like you got better?
No.
But whose fault was that?
It's my fault.
tight piece of property. John, we're desperate in need of a passing lane, man. Here we go.
Well, while in Rome, I've never been in a dispensary before.
Go drink your milkshake, Randy.
Morning, guys.
I do a butterfly.
Oh yeah.
I'll just go myself on the way up.
Oh yeah. I was like, dude, I would have run off the golf course. Like when I heard you guys were up here, except like literally this is for my 7th birthday, so like like,
Oh my, you guys are good.
no, that's what's up, because I'm not.
Diner boys, baby.
I think that tag fits in really well right there.
It does.
Hey guys, hurry the up!
I had a mega club toss on 11 at Bandon. I one-handed this thing maybe 35 yards in the fairway. And since then, I've been playing pretty good.
Are you guys gonna keep giving each other hand jobs?
I'm here for the aliens. I want to see their ship.
It's mean country up here, man. Your vehicle breaks down, you are
The F-15 because it looks like my ball flight.
Oh, I drowned my sorrows. I just sat around the pit. Just sampled all the different kinds of alcohol. I think there were some Reese's there at the end of the night that were kind of just being shoved down our throats.
And the Black Knight!
Oh,
Change up.
finishes last on this hole. Has to stand up at dinner tonight in front of the whole group and give a toast.
All right, big guy. You think you'd be a good homesteader?
Hell no. We gotta be a couple truffle pigs.
So, there you have it.
Gentlemen. There you have it, Neil.
There you have it. Hey, first off, cheers.
Cheers. What are you drinking?
I think I got to root for New Belgium in the Final Four. I got the Juicifier. I'll tell you what, the Southern Tier stuff, I was living in Brooklyn, and they had this, like, variety pack, like 18-pack, and it's like the price is right on that variety pack. But they're like the double IPA, like, heaviest beers you can find, so you got to be careful with them, too.
That's it.
But, yeah, big fan of Southern Tier. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm excited to talk to you because I know not that much about golf, but the Masters are coming up, and I want to sound intelligent in the conversations that I have.
Well, I bet that video probably didn't help. Outtakes from our trip to Oregon last summer.
It was funny. It was funny. So that was what that was. Yeah.
We basically, that's our 6th season of a show called Tourist Sauce, where we go around. You know, we've been to Australia, Scotland, Ireland, California, Carolinas, and then Oregon. And we basically just try to, go see both the well-known courses and some discover some gems and basically just record, everything that happened. So that was a lot of the stuff that happened off the course. There were 12 episodes, on our YouTube channel that are all about what goes on the course. But those trips are always a ton of fun. So traveling, hopefully we can get out of the country here pretty soon, but there's a lot of good golf around here too.
I thought I was living the dream, just going around the world drinking good beer, but you might, you might be one up on me, man.
Is almost like a disguise for the drinking, So, and some good breweries up in Oregon too.
There are some great breweries in Oregon. All right, so I think we may have gotten ahead of ourselves because I don't want to take for granted that everybody here knows what no laying up is, and so. I'm curious if you could tell us what it is and how you started it.
Yeah, I've got a lot of practice this trying to tell my parents' friends what I do.
What you do.
Basically a golf content company. It started as just like my older brother, who's Tron, and then Solly and Randy, the tall guy. They all went to college together. And then I was a younger brother. And it started as a text thread, just, basically BSing about golf. Turned into a Twitter handle. Kind of just like looked around and said, everybody's talking about golf in a pretty, I don't know, stuck up maybe.
Yeah.
Way. Like everything's about tradition and being chivalrous, and we were kind of like, let's maybe not talk. We don't talk about it like that on this text thread. Maybe we could put that out in the world. So then that went pretty well. Then built a website and started just kind of writing, hot takes about golf, and trying not to take ourselves too seriously. But we're also all very much like, I grew up playing golf. Like we're definitely golf fans. So I think there's like we try to be knowledgeable about it. And then we started the podcast. And that's kind of probably how a lot of people know us, is just kind of breaking down the week in golf every Sunday night. And then, talking to a lot of the, PGA, LPGA players. And there's so many golfers that I think it's hard for the tour, like the PGA Tour, to like introduce all these people. Like, they want you to focus on Rory and JT and Spieth. And, we've, had them on, and those guys are great. But I really get a kind of a kick out of learning about some of these guys that you see their name, week to week, who they are, but a lot of them have a really interesting story. And so I think we try to take the time to kind of uncover that stuff. So yeah, and then we said, we do travel around and film ourselves playing golf, but that came later.
That's how I know you.
Yeah,
That's
the fun part though.
What's up?
So that's the fun part too.
The fun part. The show is awesome. I know very little about golf, and I still really enjoy watching it. I checked out a few episodes went from when you went to Oregon, and it's beautiful. The scenery and the courses are just awesome, and there is so much history, and the stories are cool, and it's fun even for somebody I think who might prefer golf for the social aspect or the drinking aspect as opposed to the straight up golf aspect.
Well, what's great about it is there's golf courses, especially nowadays, they're building them in some pretty remote places. So it's kind of a reason to go places that I would never go, otherwise. And then we've got another show called Strapped that, the big guy and I, Big Randy, we go, and a lot of the tourist sauce stuff is like really high end, like Bandon Dunes, it's expensive. Strapped, the goal is the two of us have $500, and we have to go play 3 rounds of golf and stay 2 nights and eat and everything on that $500.
Oh, wow. That sounds tough.
Yeah.
That sounds real tough.
Kind of like an adventure, right? So we got to, we only get like 3 balls. So we got to find balls, like if we lose them. So it's kind of like, it was kind of a counterbalance to like, oh, you guys are just playing all these awesome courses, which like, yeah, we are. But we also are trying to, there's a lot of people, like we've been to Iowa, and we've been to, and we just got back from Tallahassee, played with the Florida A&M golf team, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And just kind of like people playing at a course that costs $20, $30, but they're super proud of it. And, golf is, it's like, man, this is good golf too. So it's like, you don't have to go to Oregon to enjoy it. If you can put the time into learning how to play, it's a great, great game, great way to be outside, really.
Yeah. Speaking of getting outside, playing some golf, I know the Masters are coming up, probably occupying a lot of your headspace right now. So as somebody who does not know so much about golf, how would you, explain it to a 5th grader? Like, what is the Masters? Why is it important? How does it differ from some of the other big tournaments? Like, what do we got coming up that's like so cool?
Yeah, a lot to unpack there. I'm from Atlanta originally, so the Masters is always, it's hour and a half.
Yeah.
So growing up, it is the tournament. The simple answer to why it matters is because everybody says it matters. That's truly it's and what they do a really good job of at Augusta is tradition, right? So they basically, that club, is centered around, they have to, their job is 1 week a year, right? The whole club revolves around this tournament. And so they're spending the entire, the other 51 weeks a year preparing for next week. Wow. And so they do a really good job of instilling these traditions, and a little bit of it is scarcity, right? Like the only time anybody that doesn't belong really is allowed in there is, during this tournament. And it matters because it's almost like a collective thing, right? Everybody said like, well, the Masters is a major, right? And so it always has been. So that's how golf kind of works. It's like, well, we've always done it this way. And so, there's a special, like that adds gravitas, right? But like, why is it that way? It's just sometimes it's because it always has been. Now the golf course is awesome, and what they do a really good job of at Augusta is, it looks like it's basically almost like a movie set over there, right? Like there's not a blade of grass out of place. It's very green, which if you talk to diehard golfers, they actually it's maybe overwatered, right? Like it's kind of set up to be viewed on TV and make people say wow. And it's created, like, you look around other industries, like they are just like the Masters is a brand. People like gravitate, like people that don't play golf, like you guys know what the Masters is. You don't play golf, right? That's kind of like when you think about, like, I'm not super into like NASCAR, but I know what the Daytona 500 is, right? It's like that one thing that's attached to golf that gives people like almost like golf, and then they say Masters, like they just kind of go together. And I think that's just a lot of just tradition and honestly, probably just like exclusivity, scarcity, right? Like you kind of wonder, like, man, I wonder what that place is like. So, and there's good and bad to that, right? Like I think, that's a loaded question, but I think that would be my answer.
I heard the food there is like amazing at the Masters, right? Like the food selection there, and it's real cheap. It's crazy.
It's actually interesting. It's the same prices from like 1955.
Yeah, it's like super cheap.
And so they do stuff like that. And it's also the hardest ticket in sports to get, right? Like if you're scalping tickets to the Masters, you're banned for life.
Yeah.
So the club operates in a very like what they say goes. Like they tell CBS from a broadcast standpoint, like limited commercials, like and because they kind of have the money and like the the ability to do that. So some of that is awesome. Like the pricing, like I've only been to practice rounds over there. So they play like Monday through Wednesday, they play practice rounds. I remember I went with my dad when I was a senior in high school, and I was blown away. Like a sandwich was like $2, right?
Yeah.
This pimento cheese sandwich.
Lobster. Yeah.
They've been serving the same thing for 50 years. You guys are like this. They have two kinds of beers. They have import and domestic, right? And they serve them in these green cups. Actually, the cups look like this, And so you kind of, over the course of the day, you kind of collect a stack of them if you're
really drinking. Yeah.
But also, like, you better not, everybody just kind of knows to be on their best behavior because there's no phones allowed. There's someone's drunk, like, they're going to quietly pull that guy's ticket and he's not coming back ever again. Right. So it's very, I don't know. It's a very controlled environment in that way. And like, as a fan, that all feels special. Like you feel like you're part of this tradition that I am lucky to be here.
Yeah.
That's the vibe that you get every year.
Right.
And it's the start of spring, right? They'll have the azaleas popping. It'll be, it's a fun tournament to watch. And the course is always set up for, exciting golf, birdies. The back nine has, some holes where it's exciting shots are hit. Guys are going for par 5s and 2, all that kind of stuff. But I don't know.
I don't know what that means. Par 5 and 2.
I don't want to get too deep into that.
No, Eric, I thought you were kidding when you were talking about the food being cheap.
I used
prices since 1950.
Yeah, no, I used to work at the Ritz-Carlton in Eatonton, Georgia. Not Eatonton. Is it Eatonton? Yeah. There's a Ritz-Carlton out there. We used to have the Masters, and like people would flock to the Ritz-Carlton in Georgia just so they could go to
the Reynolds Plantation one.
Yeah, the Reynolds. They don't call it plantation anymore, but yes,
Reynolds. Lakewood, right?
Lakewood Coney. Yeah. So that would be our busiest week, and yeah. So I learned a lot about the Masters from working there a couple years ago. So,
well, Eric, funny fact, my older brother, Tron, who does No Laying Up with me, he worked at the Ritz-Carlton in Buckhead.
Oh, really? That's cool.
He worked for Ritz. He was the night shift manager, and then he worked for Marriott.
Yeah, that's my whole background, bro.
Yeah, he was a hotel guy. So you guys have a similar path.
That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. That's cool.
And my sister-in-law, she's still in the hotel business. So, yeah. And that's a nice Ritz. So he worked there. So we used to get like the friends and family rate.
Oh, bro. And that was still expensive.
Yeah, I know. I still was like,
a nice hotel, though.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
The perks, the view, the lake, the infinity pool, all that stuff. Gabby's by the lake. I don't know if you ever went there.
No, I've never been, but a Cody's nice. I've been out there a couple times.
Yeah, man, that's dope. That's real dope.
So Eric, it seems you got something in common with Neil's brother, and I
Yeah.
know Neil and I. Yeah, what's up?
No, I was saying when I heard that Neil was coming on and the Masters and the golf, I was like, I know he has to know something about the Ritz-Carlton in Lake Oconee, because we had a lot of like guests coming in, would stay there just to go watch the Masters.
Yeah,
every year.
I mean, my old roommate he's from Augusta, and so the whole town kind of centers around it too. Like
Absolutely,
he would his family would rent their house out, right? Because the players nowhere to stay, so the players basically
yes.
So his family would like move out for the week, rent their house for, probably a massive amount of money, and then he would drive. Like he was actually like driving some courtesy cars around.
Yep,
like, guys up at the airport and stuff. So
yeah,
they just kind of, I don't know, they figured out the tradition thing, and they've kind of made it, it just created this gravitas that people are drawn to.
Yeah, for sure. That's dope.
If you were gonna have a beer with one golfer, we'll say one living and one dead. I don't want to put you in a box. Who would it be and why?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
I think I'm drawn to some of the older players. Like there's a guy, Raymond Floyd, who is kind of he doesn't. You can't really get in touch with this guy. Like he's, but he was. I think he was he got drafted to play pro baseball with the Cleveland Indians. Apparently, he owned some strip joints, and he was just one of those guys that just was like an alpha on the PGA Tour. But like nobody, I don't know much about it. You talk to like the older tour guys, and they're like, man, that guy is like the man. But we've kind of efforted getting him on our pod, and I think we've struggled to make contact with him.
So he's the living one.
I think so. Yeah, I feel like the older guys too, because they have nothing to lose.
Yeah,
and not nothing against the guys now, but they don't really have any incentive to tell it like it is. Whereas like the guys on the Champions Tour, which is like the guys over 50,
yeah,
who have all were all-stars and have won 5, 10, 20 times on tour, they don't care anymore, right?
They're all more stories. You get the real
stories,
yeah.
And those are the guys that I want to talk to. So he'd be one. Lee Trevino's another one of those guys. Like he's got all kinds of stories. Interesting golfer. He lives in Austin, Texas. I'd love to have a beer with him.
You invite him on the show yet?
No, he's another one that's kind of hard to get in touch with. He's just kind of like those are the kind of guys you want to talk to because they don't want the attention.
I'll make a couple phone calls for you. We'll talk afterward.
Yeah, Ken's got it.
all right. And then who dead? There's this guy like God, who would be a good one instead? Like let's just go way back. Old Tom Morris. He's the guy that basically invented modern golf back in Scotland. He was like the superintendent at St. Andrews over in Scotland and won all the early tournaments. He's got this beard down to here. You only see black and white pictures of him. I'd probably want to talk to him just to hear his accent.
Yeah.
Scottish accent, just like, so I get a kick out of that.
I got to record something for you.
Or two. What?
I was going to say, you get him to record something for you and set it as your alarm. So it's like, wake up, Neil.
That'd be great. I think he died like 100 years ago, though.
Oh, yeah. That'd be hard.
It's a long time. That's a long time.
So you talked about like modern golf. And I think like even in the last, I don't know, I was going to say 10 years, thinking the 90s was 10 years ago, which it's not.
Low like 20. No,
yeah, it was 30. 1990 was 30 years ago, which is pretty
30 years. Wow.
But I know, like, since the Tiger Woods heyday, like even then, like how has golf changed and modernized? I think when you look at like beer, for instance, if you look at beer in the 90s and you look at beer today, it's just, a different industry. So yeah, is golf the same way or?
Well, I remember going to the Ballast Point Brewery and kind of learning about the story out there, and it seemed like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it felt like the brewing of beer became more democratized, right? Like when the internet kind of came about, people were able to buy stuff to brew at home, like, and then those turned into small craft brewers, and then like the investment you had to make, and like finding like, a place to buy beer brewing equipment, it all kind of like almost the way like weird example, but like TV, the prices of like flat screen TVs come down and down.
Yeah.
Oh, well, now I can do it. Whereas golf, I think Tiger brought a billion people to play, right? Like it's blown up as far as like how many golf courses were built, probably too many. There's a lot of bad courses out there that are going under, because golf's a tough business. It's a lot, it's very capital intensive.
Sure.
But the biggest difference in the last 20 years, and probably last 30, is just the technology, how far the golf ball goes. And it's a big, big debate in golf right now if the ball goes too far or not. And there's a good argument on either side. But basically, the ball's going so far, especially for the professionals, because they have such high swing speeds, that they are outgrowing a lot of courses. Even Augusta spent, where they're going to have the Masters, they just spent like $40 million to buy like a half acre of land from the neighboring Augusta Country Club so that they could move back the famous 13th tee box, like the 13th hole. They needed to move it back because these guys are hitting it so far. The strategy of the hole is becoming obsolete.
Wow.
Is that the technique? Is it the technology of like clubs or balls?
It's all about the golf ball and how that's constructed. Titleist and Callaway and TaylorMade, like they're, the R&D at these companies is incredible. And no fault to them. Like they're not, they're according to the standards, not doing anything wrong.
Sure.
And then the size, if you look at an old video of Jack Nicklaus in the 70s, they're playing these persimmon, like basically, wood drivers.
Right.
Tiny places, right? And then even like 10, 15 years ago when I was in high school, we're playing drivers, this big. And now they like the one I was playing today was like, they're huge, right? Yeah. And the face is made of, whatever like element from Mars, like the technology is crazy. And it gets a little bit better and a little bit better.
Yeah.
The difference is that when you use that kind of driver and you hit a golf ball, like the compression, so it's in on one hand, hitting the ball farther and having these more forgiving and more technologically advanced clubs make it easier for like guys like you to get into golf, right? Easier to hit the golf club. But what it does for the pros is it allows them to, one, hit driver and not miss it like crazy because it kind of cuts down on the spin. And two, again, because their swing speed, there's like a trampoline effect on the ball and they get like almost not exponential distance, but they get like the distance advantage. So it makes it hard for the PGA Tour to go to, there's all these, there's a lot of courses like Augusta that have all this history and they have these famous architects and they have this famous like legacy. Pros can't play there because they're only, 6,600 yards or 7,200 yards. And these guys have to play courses that are like, 7,500 yards because they just hit it too far. So that's, and again, then there's this argument, do you roll back the ball? Well, the equipment companies probably don't want to do that because there's so much money in it. And then it's a meaty problem. So you asked a loaded question there. Sorry.
I didn't know I was asking a loaded question.
It's like a massive debate in the game right now.
I got a quick question. You was talking earlier about how golf courses, there are good ones and there's some bad ones, and it's hard to keep up with a lot of golf courses. In your opinion, like what makes a good or like best golf course? Is it what you see? Is it the sites? Is it the water there? Is it the natural life that's there? Like what makes a good golf course? I
would say with all the strap trips we've taken, a fun golf course is really, to me, like one thing, pace of play. Mm-hmm. If it's slow out there, it sucks, right? Nobody wants to stand around and wait on the tee box. So like there were probably like you're solving like the majority for me of the problem, because otherwise if there's a a hole 300 yards away, like it's going to be fun. Like I don't really care. Like when I was living in New York in Brooklyn, like I'd go out to the Flushing Meadow pitch and putt, right? Like every hole you're hitting off like AstroTurf to like 50-yard greens. Like it's fun. I love it, right? So, but like if you ask more like architecturally, like it's not so much water features. Like water on a course is kind of some courses use it too much. I think it's how interesting. Like, can you make the green? How the slopes and stuff. Like you don't want it to be too sloped, and then you got to take care of it and stuff. So like I think an interesting thing with golf is like how big, like if you have big greens where you can put the pin like in places all over the green, like that's exciting because like for a beginner, it gives them a better chance to hit the green. What a thrill. That's great. And then for someone that's a little bit more advanced, they might have this crazy putt that they got to putt like, it's going to break 3 ways. So kind of like interesting what they call like green complexes. And then like kind of like, because that allows then like if you have interesting bunkers and stuff, you can play angles. So bunkers here, I want to hit it over here so I have a better angle to the hole. That would be a simple answer. But honestly, the simplest answer is pace of play.
And one more. What's your favorite? What's been your favorite course, hands down? What's your favorite course? Yeah. What's the first thing that comes to mind?
You're asking the man his favorite.
I would say there's a course in Ireland called Carn. It's on the northwest coast of Ireland. It's basically like it feels like you're on the edge of the earth because it's in this town of like 100 people.
Wow.
It's basically like, they've built and maintained it. It's like this town just like has kind of taken care of it, and with on like the budget that they have would just blow you away and what they're able to do. But it has these dunes that are like, I mean, we're talking 200, 300 foot dunes. And so we did a video there. That's in our Tourist Sauce Ireland series that we filmed like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you feel like you're on the moon when you get over these dunes and you're playing like kind of through them and then you're playing over them. So you're hitting blind shots.
Oh, wow.
Like I said earlier, it's awesome I love it when it takes me to a faraway place. Cause you're like, man, I would never come to this like forgotten part of Ireland for any, like unless
that's cool.
I was going to go to Ireland as to sightsee. Like that's just like that part of Ireland, and it's way out on this like peninsula. You got to go way off the main road, and so that's I love that. And then golf by the ocean is just good for the soul.
That's dope.
It's hard to. I always have to separate when someone asks me my favorite course. Golf by the ocean is almost like its own category, just because it's not fair, right? Like ocean views.
Yeah.
But that's my answer. That place.
I appreciate that. That was dope. Yeah. It's the equivalent of what's your favorite beer? I don't know. There's so many styles. I like this and I like that. I appreciate a lot of different things.
Kind of like what Kenny, what you were saying before we went on about like, you like the stories behind the beer. Like you're into brewing the beer, and like I'm not building golf courses, but like I love when there's a story attached to it. Like when you see the heart and soul that goes into a place like that, where like they're kind of doing this, and no one shows up. Like it's hard to get to. They're just putting in like they're taking pride in their work, and I love that. That's
cool.
That's good stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah. I think it's like probably the equivalent of like going to Hill Farmstead or like The Alchemist, or making one of these big beer pilgrimages to some place where the people there have clearly put so much into it and it's withstood the test of time at this point.
Well, the other thing about like Carn or just Ireland and Scotland, and pretty much anywhere but the U.S. is in most places golf is public, where and it's usually a model where you can like if you're not a member. You got to pay a little bit more to play there, but like they'll let anybody play the course.
You can still play there, yeah.
And then when golf came to the U.S., it was kind of when the country club, like the city clubs and the country club, like that whole movement was happening, and it just got tied to like it's very exclusive in the U.S., right? And that's that's fine. Like I get it. Like you want to people have it's their getaway. Vibe when I've gone to Ireland specifically is just much more like golf is like a game for everybody, and if you're really into it you can join this club and pay more and pay dues and all that and get all those benefits. But like, and we'll just charge the people that aren't members, we'll just charge you more, but you can if you're willing to pay you can play. It's kind of the idea.
It's more democratic overseas.
100%. In Canada too. I think in Canada though it's because it's so cold and they can only play for like 5
years.
Yeah.
Everybody, come on, get your clubs.
Cool. Well, we got a good question. If anybody, of course, this is the part of the show where if you have a question for Neil, you've always wanted to know, throw it in the comments. We'll pull it up. my boy CDP said, "Yo, KG, that's me. Checking in from the course. What do you think Anthony Kim? I imagine he means is today.
Yeah. Do you guys know who Anthony Kim is?
No idea.
Okay, so Anthony Kim was the next Tiger back in like 2007, 2008. He came out of college. He was like balling out on tour, and he was wearing these like aggressive belt buckles. He was kind of flashy, kind of he was swaggy, and everybody thought he was going to take over. He played really well in a Ryder Cup or Ryder Cup of Presidents, maybe Presidents Cup. I can't remember.
Sure.
And just everyone's like, this guy's the next one, going to be one of the next great American golfers. And then honestly, he started partying really hard. Like I think he was like kind of was living in maybe like the golf version of the TikTok house. I think he had too many guys hanging around, and they were partying. And then I think he got hurt. Apparently he took out like a big insurance policy. So if he never plays golf again, he gets, X millions of dollars. And right now, I think he still lives in Dallas or in Texas somewhere. We tried to get him on the NLU podcast many times. I don't think Anthony Kim, it sounds like he's doing well, but I don't think he has any interest in, kind of drawing attention to himself. It's kind of one of those, what could have been stories. You see him with like the NBA a lot of like, man, this kid was a can't miss dude out of high school. And then, maybe too much too fast and then bad injury and lose the momentum. So great question from Conrad. I would also love to know what Anthony Kim's doing.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious. I'm going to go look it up now. I got to know more. What a story. Cool. Now the questions are coming.
Yeah, it's a lot of questions coming in. I love it.
Neil, what's the best strategy you and Randy use on Strap to make sure the budget allows you to run into some cold beers post round? $500 is not a lot of money.
Two things. One, don't drink during the round because you won't play as well and it drains the budget. And two, try to take some money off the narc. And the narc is what we call DJ, who's our other guy. He's behind the camera. He's like we call him Christoph, the guy from the Truman Show.
Yeah, make him buy the drinks
up above, like making it rain.
Yeah,
kind of like the producer. So we're always a lot of times on like the first day of the Strap trips, we'll play him in a match and just try to like win $5-10 off of him just to get a little cushion, and then usually those are years. But and also the other thing is just kind of you got to always be hunting for like ask anyone you hey, where can you what's the best beer special in town tonight? You got to find that Thirsty Thursday or a 2-for-1 special near the course. We've done that before too.
Yeah.
So, good question. Thank you.
I'm going out of order here, but this one's kind of related. Are you able to indulge in local brews much on Strapped? And then what's the go-to cheap option if the money round goes poorly?
We in Tallahassee, for some reason, we picked up Yinglings, which I'm kind of stuck in between if that's Strap beer because it's very union. It's a union beer. It feels like I think they're all unionized, but like that also makes it more expensive. So like, we're looking for cheap beers, but it's also supporting the working class. So, Randy and I were kind of stuck between whether Yingling was a Strap beer or not. I don't know. So that's what we were drinking. We kind of picked Yingling. We went to a gas station. There weren't a lot of options. It was either like that or Steel Reserve, and I didn't really feel like
you made the right choice.
Like, some heavy malt
Yeah.
liquor. I wasn't, I didn't think that was going to be good for the round the next morning.
Nice. All right. I'm not going to pronounce that name correctly. Is Neil confident of getting out of the pouch of misery this week?
Now you guys are going down the rabbit hole with me. So we do a weekly preview video, like betting preview, with like DraftKings stuff. So we make 5 picks. We got 100 nuggets and, I'm the pouch. Anyone who goes 0 for 5 in their picks has to pull from, actually it's this, the pouch of misery.
Whoa, that's a literal pouch.
It's a literal pouch. And it's stuff like shotgun a beer, run and jump in the ocean and come back while we're still filming, wear, a dumb hat, like just not stuff you really want to do. And I've been pouch like think I'm in the pouch like for the 4 straight weeks. I'm not on a heater right now.
I was gonna ask you who your pick for the Masters was, but now I'm not sure I want to know.
Well, that's next week. We got to do a preview next week. This week I picked Spieth to win. Spieth is currently, I think, in first or second, so that's good. And then I picked a few other guys to be in the top 20. I think 2 of them are like right in the top 20, so hopefully they can build some momentum. Because yeah, man, I would love to not be in the pouch.
Who would you not pick? That's who I'm choosing.
What? Yeah, exactly. Well, last week I did a Costanza, which is from Seinfeld, where basically he made it. I made my picks and then I flipped them.
Yeah,
almost like I did like a big parlay and I missed it by like just like literally one shot. But you know, it's basically maybe I should keep doing that. Like whatever I think, I should just try to like go the other way. I'm not very good at gambling. Never have been. But you know, at least I know that. So
at least you know that. Yeah. All right. The Icarita nickname. Where did it come from? That's my question. And then Patrick wants to know: do you like it? Do you hate it?
So it comes from Strapped. There's another wrinkle in the Strap budget. Randy and I, you know, we never shot like under par before when we started Strapped, and so we wrote into kind of the bylaws. If one of us breaks par, meaning, you know, we shoot like on a par 72, we shoot 71, or, you know, that's kind of what the pros do. It's very hard to do.
Sure.
We double the budget. We get $500 extra. And we can do whatever we want with it.
Wow.
And so, of course, we're like, nah, it's never going to happen. It's kind of this funny thing we can reference. Well, of course, on the first season in Iowa, I am like 2 or 3 under on 13. And it was just like, you know, like, oh my God, it's here. And kind of like the reason where Icarito comes from is like I'm flying towards the sun.
Yeah.
And my wings melt and I just It's happened like 2 or 3 times in like a very, very like visceral way where people are just like, he's gonna do it, and then
you get too close to the sun, the whack.
I hook it out of bounds, or I like some I hit into like a bush and had to take it unplayable in Baltimore, and it's just like. So it's a very inside joke, but it's I think it's very relatable. It's like basically you're playing the best you ever played. You know you're on camera. You kind of have to say like, "Hey, are you going to do it? Or are you not going to do it?" Like, kind of get in your own head about it. And then you know you get up close to the sun and you just kind of melt. So, do I like the name? I've accepted the name. Like I'm comfortable with it. I think it's you know, it is what it is, man. We're, you know, that's the way it goes. So yeah, we just gotta keep battling. So we're gonna get that mega bonus hopefully on the next
mega bonus.
You got it, Neil. You got it.
Yeah, I believe in you. Oh my gosh, we have so many questions. The people are interested, Neil. What's the beer choice when the round takes a bad turn? We saw yesterday's that Wide World of Golf.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I got last night we had a video premiere and I got my ass kicked.
What is WWOG? Is it
Wild World of Golf? It's another one of our video series.
You said that. Good job. That was dope.
Yeah. Cool. We basically play like matches against each other or against like pros that come and join us. We play like different formats, and you know, so basically this was like a one-on-one match between Solly, who's another one of my partners. He's the host of the podcast and like he's the best golfer.
Okay.
But I've been playing a lot better recently, so we kind of had like a, you know, one of those backyard basketball matches where like really competitive, and I just played. We were talking trash beforehand, and then I just came out and laid an egg, like played horrible, you know, right from the start. It was like, and then I had a bad attitude, and yeah, to Kenny's point, I probably could have used a cold beer. You know, I needed something to like, you know, snap me back.
Yeah.
From, you know, because I run hot sometimes. On the golf course, I'm pretty like, you know, give me a Miller latte. Like I try to keep it light out, right? Like something just that you know, you drink some of these new Belgians out there in the sun, and you start getting sleepy, right? And then you start playing bad.
Right.
So I try when I do I try to keep it light. Randy and I both kind of believe in he more than me, but I'm starting to get there where I like to the beer after the round to be the reward.
Mm.
When I start during the round, like I kind of care about playing well. Like it's kind of I like the competition of golf. So depends on the round, depends on who I'm playing with. But like today we play in a Thursday game every week. I usually don't drink when we play, but then after the round, I'll have a couple beers, and it's the best, right? That's kind of like it's kind of like getting off the ski slopes. Like when I go skiing, I don't drink like at lunch. You want to wait till the hot tub.
That's it.
Yeah, gotta wait. Yeah.
Wait for the hot tub.
I will say this, unless you are in a cart, I tend to walk when I play golf, trying to get a little bit of exercise. But if you're in a cart, then it's a lot easier to drink beers.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh man, well, we have so many good questions. I'm gonna do one more. I'm real curious about this. This
hot dog, yeah.
What's the best golf course hot dog you've ever had? And that's probably where I'm gonna start my golf career.
You know what? And they're kind of famous for it. They're the Olympic Club in San Francisco. They have 2 courses. It's like the biggest athletic club in the country, and they've hosted U.S. Opens and all that. They have this thing called a burger dog, and they basically cut the hot dog in half and they grill it like a burger, and then they put it on like I think they put it in a bun. So I haven't had one in a while, but I do remember being like, it can't be that good. And I was like, you know what? It was pretty good. And I will give them credit, because you get a question like that, they've kind of like branded themselves as like, we've got the best dog,
That's pretty cool.
They've kind of like, that's their corner. And so the first thing that came to my mind is like, oh, that's got to be Olympic Club, Was it good? Yeah, I think it was good, but I remember it because they,
Yeah, that's creative. Yeah.
Well, this has been a true pleasure.
Yeah, this is dope, Neil.
I'll say that. I wish we could answer all these questions. I gotta let you go, man.
Well, thanks for having me. I wish we could have talked a little bit more beer. I talk golf all day long. I want to talk some hops, man.
I'll call you, man. I'll call you. I mean, beer. We gotta get you. You're traveling all over the world, all over the country. I mean, one of the coolest things about beer is that anywhere you go, there's something.
I got a question for you guys. I'm a big sour fan.
You are or you're not?
I am.
Okay.
Denver.
I like the Sequench, the Dogfish Head one.
Dogfish Head,
Like it's kind of mass market. Give me a sour I should go try.
You're in Florida?
I'm in Florida.
There's a lot of really good ones, man. I mean,
I'm thinking stuff from like Jester King.
Yeah. There's like 2 different types of sours. There's like the real pure, like Belgian style sour, and then
spontaneous, and then you got your kettle sours.
And then there's like just throw a bunch of fruit puree in the mix.
Yeah.
And like,
That's not it.
That's not what you want. Or that's.
I would consider those sours.
I want something. If I talk to a beer snob, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's
All right. I mean, is there any good golf courses near Denver?
Well, yeah, and we'll be out there soon. I don't want to spoil a surprise, but one of the big guy, he's heading out that direction. He's moving there.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Congrats. All right. Yeah. Well, we won't blow up this spot, but Black Project in Denver. Is one of my favorite sour producers.
Black Project?
Black Project.
Okay.
Super small spot, really good stuff. True makes some good ones out there. TRVE. It's pronounced True. It's a metal thing.
Yeah. True's dope.
Yeah.
Good.
Come on.
Yeah, you get it. I'm trying to think in Florida who I really like that makes really good sours. Anything coming to you, Eric?
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with a lot of the food.
What about brewery in Florida? What would you say is the best brewery in Florida? Like, I haven't really, since I've been down here, we haven't really been able to do much.
The Miami scene is really awesome right now. There's a brewery down there called Tripping Animals that I really like.
They got some dope shit.
Guys that came out from Venezuela, and they're just awesome.
Tripping Animals.
Animals. Yeah, tripping in Venezuela means like having a good time.
For sure.
But they play on it, and all of their beer cans
and the art,
stoned animals.
Yeah.
just like super high raccoons and
Hell
like giraffes and stuff. They're super cool. Miami is just awesome. Jay Wakefield's down there, and invasive species, and you got Civil Society in Palm Beach, West Palm, and Jupiter.
There's that up here in Jax is like John Boat. Is that one? No, maybe that's the name of the the beer they make.
Okay.
I gotta start trying some more local beers.
You know what brewery I really like? It's not they actually make some really good sours. Green Bench Brewing.
I was gonna mention them too. Yeah, Green Bench makes some dope shit too.
Okay.
I don't know the Panhandle so well. My brother's in Orlando, and my parents are down in West Palm, so I know like Central and South Florida a lot better. But if you're ever near like St. Pete, I'm a big Green Bench guy.
Okay.
I think they make some really great sours, but if you're into like
their lagers, their lager game's
lagers.
dope. Yeah, the lager game's dope.
I mean, I of course love the light, something Pilsner lager. That's probably my vibe, but I have got more into the sour stuff.
Yeah, I think Green Bench is making some of the most like technically impeccable lagers in the country. So
they doing like double deductions and concoctions and all their lagers and everything. So like it's pretty good.
You need to get. Now we're getting into the weeds, but
I'm curious about it.
It's good stuff, man.
Well, I got the sun's going down, so I'm starting to get the shadows on.
I saw that.
I see it.
You can't see me anymore.
If people want to find you, they probably know where you are, but just tell them anyway.
Yeah.
Where can we find you?
Let's see, NG Shoe NLU on Twitter. That's where we're always chopping it up about golf. NG Shoe SCHU on Instagram, and then just anything no laying up. Probably like the YouTube, is probably our home base for the video stuff. Just youtube.com/no laying up. So we got some good stuff coming up. I'm pumped. I think this is going to be a big year for us.
I can't wait. I can't wait to be there. I'm here for it, Neil. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Talk soon.
See ya.
Peace.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Well, that was awesome. I learned all types of new stuff.
I learned a lot about golf.
Me too. From everyone. Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to do the close.
Do the close.
No, why do you mean to interrupt? You got anything?
I had a great time.
Me too. All right, I'll do the close. Should I do it?
Do it
all right.
now. Go ahead, do it.
From everyone here at Untap's Virtual Happy Hour HQ, thank you for joining us. You can find me on Instagram at HopCultureKen. It's right there. You can find Eric other way. There. Yep. That is it.
Uncap everything, baby. Right
definitely like the video. That would be helpful for us. Subscribe to the Untapped YouTube channel. You can subscribe to the Hop Culture Magazine YouTube channel.'re trying to grow that. That's been a ton of fun. And don't forget to get your tickets to Juicy Brews.
Yeah, Juicy Brews.
Digital Craft Beer Festival. www.hopculture.com/ thank you, sir. 420. Until next time. Cheers.
Cheers, y'all.